at the start of my administration, I said that I will leave my office with a strong military. That's what I promised, and within our limited income dito sa gobyerno, and setting aside the small but equitable portion of its military na ibigay ko naman siguro, especially in the upgrade of the armaments, yung mga bagong air assets sa tubig, naval. I am comfortable with the thought that I have done my best. Lalo na yung pinangako ko sa military. And it was not just a campaign slogan. Doon, ang success ko, mayroon naman yung mga pangyayari na hindi maganda, but these things happen. Always, as always, there will be scalawags in a big organization, especially like the police and the military. But in the end, you're always rewarded. One or two will not really spoil your administration.
Manila Mayor Isco Moreno is asking for the endorsement of PDP-Laban. But the camp of Senator Manny Pacquiao says that's not gonna happen. Amid the mix and match of candidates pairing Moreno with Davao City Mayor Sara Duterte, Moreno's running mate Willie Ong says he's not mad. NTF-ELCAC spokesperson Lorraine Badoy red tags the health department following its statement on detained Dr. Naty Castro. The lawyers of Dr. Castro say her illnesses have been getting worse since her arrest, and to prove this, they're now pushing for a medical exam. And let's check out the highlights of this year's NBA All-Star Weekend. Fast, focused, and fearless. Here's everything you need to know as you jumpstart your day. I'm Charles Lejano. Presidential candidate Isco Moreno remains hopeful that he will get President Duterte's endorsement for the upcoming elections. Supporters raised suspicions that Moreno is Duterte's chosen one, with the push of some Mindanaoans for the so-called ISA, or Isco-Sara tandem. Romel Lopez with the details.
A few months shy from the May 9 polls, President Rodrigo Duterte has yet to name the candidate that he's going to endorse for the presidency. But the photo of him together with Senator Bongo and Cebu Governor Gwen Garcia is now making a buzz online. The three had their index finger pointed upward, pointing to some to believe that they're making a God-first sign, heavily associated to Manila Mayor Isco Moreno. This prompted some to think, is the president endorsing Moreno? For Moreno, he'll definitely take it.
If that is the case, that everybody nowadays, God first na. So, ibig sabihin, switch to Isco is real. May awa ang Diyos.
But hold your horses. The photo, as it turns out, was taken March 17 last year. The sign is also believed to be referring to Garcia's One Cebu. Talks of Duterte potentially backing Moreno gained ground after a volunteer group which propelled Duterte to the presidency endorses the Manila mayor. What's more, the mga dadatos of Maguindanao are pushing for ISA, or a tandem between Moreno and the presidential daughter Sara Duterte.
Manila Mayor Isco Moreno, our incoming president.
We supporters from Mindanao, ayun ang sinusulong namin, yung isa. At dapat magkaisa naman eh. Alam nyo, meron naman ding grupo sa Visayas na version. So isa din silang nagdadala doon kay Isco at saka Sara tandem. Kami wala kaming doon sa kung ano yung partido nila, basta ang amin dito, doon kami kay Yorme. At malinaw naman yung patakbo, malinaw yung direction niya. May angking talino.
While this could mean the province is abandoning his running mate Willie Ong, Moreno says he needs all the support that he could get.
Gusto ko makuha ang boto mo. Ganun din yung kay Pangulo. Kasi
Naliligaw po kayo sa presidente?
bakit naman na lahat kayo nililigawan ko eh. Every Filipino nililigawan ko. Muslim, Kristiyano, anumang religious belief mo, it doesn't matter. If you are a voter, kung botante ka, siyempre papakisuyuan kita.
For News 5, Romy Lopez. We are One News.
Meanwhile, presidential aspirant and Senator Manny Pacquiao hits Moreno over the Manila mayor's recent request for PDP-Laban's endorsement. Pacquiao reminded his rival that he remains the president of PDP-Laban, despite running under PROMD, which he says has an alliance with the ruling party. Pacquiao is recognized as president by one faction of the PDP-Laban, also led by Senator Coco Pimentel as chairman. Pacquiao clarifies that he was not offended by Moreno's call for endorsement, noting that his main goal is to reunite PDP-Laban.
Ako naman ang presidente ng PDP-Laban. Kumbaga, sa akin din yan dadaan lahat, yung mga ganon. And then also, yung sa PROMD, nagkaroon ng alliance ang PDP at saka PROMD. No, pagdating ng panahon, tatawagin yan PDP-PROMD.
Meanwhile, Moreno's running mate, Doc Willie Ong, says he's not backing out of the vice presidential race, despite calls for an Isco-Sara tandem. Ong says he has his eyes on the ball and that he's not hurt by the pairing of his presidential running mate with another vice presidential bet.
Para sa akin kasi, focus lang ako sa kailangan kong gawin di ba? Salamat kay Mayor Isco, pinili niya ako, nakatakbo tayo bilang Vice President, pero ngayon nasa akin na yung bola So tuloy-tuloy tayo hanggang May 9, walang atrasan to.
The family of detained Dr. Naty Castro is confident that the charges against her will be dismissed. This as the Health Department asks authorities to follow due process in the handling of Doc Naty's case. Jenny Don with the story.
After being arrested by the PNP-AFP intelligence operatives in her home last week, Community Health and Human Rights Advocate Dr. Naty Castro was found by her family in jail in Bayugan, Agusan del Sur. Menshi, one of Doc Naty's sisters, said about 10 to 15 police officers, most of whom were not in uniform, raided the home of Doc Naty and left with her without informing other family members where they would be taking her. She was reportedly involved in the kidnapping of a civilian active auxiliary member who was detained somewhere in Sibagat, Agusan del Sur. The CAA is the government-backed militia that is helping the military's anti-insurgency campaign. But the family's lawyer said this case was already junked years ago.
Nabasura na, una.
Kailan po?
Nung earlier, when the judge determined na walang basis.
Chief PNP General Jonardo Carlos defended the police operation that led to the arrest.
Kami, ang hawak ay ano yung pinag-utos ng korte, pinatupad, ibabalik namin sa korte para madesisyonan.
According to the PNP, Doc Naty is a member of the Central Committee and head of the National Health Bureau of the Communist Party of the Philippines. Doc Naty was the secretary of Karapatan Caraga chapter up until 2018, but her family insisted she is not a communist.
Hindi po talaga kasi she is living publicly. Hindi po siya nagtatago. Nag-renew pa nga po siya ng kanyang medical license nung last year lang po.
The Health Department reminded authorities to follow due process in handling of Doc Naty's case.
Lahat naman po tayo would be presumed innocent until proven otherwise. So antayin lang po natin yung proseso na sinasagawa ngayon para po makita po natin kung ano po ang kalalabasan.
Meanwhile, the Castro family is confident that the charges against the doctor will be dismissed. For News 5, Jenny Dongon, We Are One News.
Meanwhile, NTF-ELCAC spokesperson Lorraine Badoy has taken offense at the DOH's latest statement on Doc Naty's case. Badoy claims that the Health Department is defending anti-government forces because it sought due process for the case of Doc Naty, who is supposedly a Central Committee member of the CPP-NPA-NDF. The Free Legal Assistance Group is calling for the medical examination of detained Dr. Naty Castro. Speaking to the Chiefs, Flag Caraga Regional Chairperson Attorney Wilfred Asias said that Castro has been suffering from various illnesses exacerbated by her arrest. And he added that Castro should be examined by a doctor from the health department to dispel rumors that she's faking these illnesses.
She is diabetic. She has high blood pressure. And she is, of course, under the circumstances, suffering from, nervousness. And which was why our move is to ask the court to have her physically and medically examined so that we do away with any assertion on the part of her captors that she is faking her illness.
Meanwhile, in an interview with The Big Story, CHR Commissioner Roberto Cadiz said that there were multiple red flags in Castro's arrest. This includes the fact that Castro was not apprised of the contents of the warrant of arrest against her, and that the arresting officers prevented her from contacting her lawyer.
So number one, she was arrested on a weekend. Sarado yung mga korte. Wala kang tatakbuhan. Isa yun, no? Tapos they did not show her and their family the warrant of arrest. They refused her her right to counsel, no? They did not inform her of where and their family where she was being brought, and the arresting officers themselves refused to identify themselves and their designation.
NBA legend Lebron James earns his 5th straight All-Star win as captain, as the NBA All-Star weekend culminated in the game between Team LeBron and Team Durant. Gretchen Ho has the details.
No better way to cap off the NBA All-Star weekend in Cleveland than the intense match between Team LeBron and Team Durant. Team LeBron would come out victorious, 163 to 160.
Let's do it, Cleveland. Let's do it, Cleveland.
After LeBron himself sank a game-winning basket, giving him his 5th straight All-Star game win as team captain. But Warrior star Stephen Curry also hogged the headlines after he scored 50 points, which included a record 16 triples.
And the Kia MVP.
Steph was named All-Star MVP and took home the Kobe Bryant Trophy.
Yeah, it's pretty special, obviously, being back in Ohio, playing with the best guys in the league, and celebrating the highest level of basketball. And obviously, this trophy has a very special meaning.
The glass right here, windmill off the glass. Oh!
Meanwhile, in the other All-Star weekend events, Knicks forward Obi Toppin took home the slam dunk title.
Haven't seen that one before. 6 are available. I'm going to Vegas. 2 in a row in the corner.
Timberwolves big man Karl Anthony Towns backed the three-point shooting contest crown, becoming the first center to win the event.
You called it. Oh, it's a wrap. Okay, Cat.
While Team Cavs beat out Team Antetokounmpo and Team Rooks in a new version of the Skills Challenge that featured 3 three-man teams. Gretchen Ho, We Are One News.
And that's how the day is shaping up to be. Join us later at 9 a.m. as we monitor the day's biggest stories from sunrise to sundown. You can also catch One News on Signal Play. Just register for a free account at www.signalplay.com so you can stream One News live anytime, anywhere. I'm Charles Lejano. Mask on, wash hands, and stay safe, Philippines. We are One News.